Well, I want to give a real simple tip on, well, you could do this for cleaning an engine, but you can clean anything with this. And it's just so simple that nobody even does it, though. That's the problem. It's very cheap to buy a high pressure washer, right? You can buy an electric one, you don't need to buy a gas one or anything like that. I've been using this little one for a long time. But what I have it is I have it hooked up into the hot water. And I turn the hot water heater up to about 200 degrees. That makes a major difference in how well, especially if you're cleaning dirty, greasy car parts. Now, if you're going to clean the engine, you want to cover up the air cleaner first too. But you know, using the hot water works like a charm, and I'll show you how to have it hooked up to the hot water tank and where it's hooked up, because this can work in most houses. And of course, you want to cover up the air cleaner, make sure you don't get any water down there. But you know, this is an old classic, or more classic Chevy from '78 350 engine and Demon car. But you know, if you ever want to do work on something, you always want to make it clean in the first place. It makes it a lot easier to work on. And actually, if you want to know where people can hook this up, every house or whatever has a washing machine with the hot water. That's one of your best places to hook it up, because you got the hose right there, right? And you have a hose connected to the back. Now, I just use some Y fittings, and I use 2 disconnects. So, like, in other words, you know, this is on when it's in line, and it's off when it's shut this way. When you have it going in line with the same way the pipe, it's on, and it's off this way. I actually have 2 of them, so just to make sure it doesn't leak. Because, you know, if there's even a slight leak in this plastic, and you remember this is hot water, really hot water going through it, you can actually screw these up after a while. That's why I have 2 of them. So when I shut it off, it's definitely off, you know. But you know, that's every place has you know, the washing machine, and then the dryer outlet is nearby. That's your best bet for hooking this up. That's what makes it easy and simple. Very simple trick, but not many people think of it. Okay, so again, the water's on, and this thing's supposed to work with the trigger. When you pull the trigger, if you turn it on, the electric, that's the only when it's supposed to go on. But this thing's been, I don't know, something went wrong with it. But what I have it do, how I have it though, is I have it into a surge protector type switch. So if there ever was a short, it gives me some extra safety. You know, there's actually a safety supposedly in this, but I don't trust these electric ones. Like if this got wet, which is pretty near the car, it's not going to get wet though. You still have an extra safety, because I used a reset. There's a reset switch on there. It's because, you know, anytime I'm using anything, if there's any problem with the electric, you know, it'll just click right off. So you turn this on. And the other thing you want to do is you want to use a leaf blower to blow off everything that's, you know, wet. And, you know, this doesn't look, it's actually a lot cleaner, but, you know, the paint's chipped off the engine. And, you know, this was actually years ago. This was a rebuilt Corvette engine, 1990, so it's been around a while. So, but it still runs good. So, you know, you want to use the leaf blower to basically dry everything off really good and have it set that way. Well, you get the idea, but you know, the thing is you can take stuff to a car wash, you know, besides throwing in lots of quarters and stuff like that, and possibly them getting pissed off about you cleaning an engine at the place. The other thing is you got to keep driving there, going back and forth. You miss a spot, you do something wrong, you have to keep driving back and all that kind of garbage. This engine actually is, you know, it's an older engine. It's from it's rebuilt in 1990. It's a leftover Corvette engine actually from a long time ago. But you know, I don't really, you know. But if you was gonna do any work on this car, what I would do was I like cleaning everything off. The same thing I would do with the Sebring. The engine was on here, it was cleaned off very well. But also, if you want to do like the undercarriage of the car, keep it from getting rusty, I'm just going to point out a tip here. Like, you'd want to use this method, the hot water. The hot water makes a big difference on everything. You want to use a little soap, you want like a brush, right, to get everything and go over it a couple times. And like I said, if you have this at home, it's like, you know, you could do a piece, you could take the leaf blower. You don't need any compressed air. You don't need an air compressor. You can, you know, dry it off. And if you miss a spot, you could do it over again. But like for the undercarriage of the car, for instance, like in this car, to keep it from rusting, I used after I cleaned it off really good several years ago, I used a rust-killing primer. And I followed that with not an ordinary paint, not a chassis black. I used an aluminum colored wheel paint, mag wheel paint, because it's very resistant to road grime, heat, and chips. Mag wheel paint is very resistant to chips, so that's a good idea for painting the undercarriage of the car without adding any kind of weight, because a lot of people just throw undercoating on it. And if it's like a grayish silver color, you could see if there's any rust forming anywhere, because a lot of times the undercoating, if you spray that, it will cover up things. You know, basically that's what a lot of people do, you know. But you could do like a much better do-it-yourself type hobbyist job without spending the bucks. And like I said, all you got to do is you hook this thing up to, you know, I got quick disconnects on here too. You just hook it up to where the dryer, the washing machine is. You have a hose there, you have a double connector. You could turn it off twice, so make sure the connection's off all the time, because actually, you know, there's pressure behind that Y fitting all the time. So I have two connectors there, and it's a quick disconnect. And so it's very cheap, you know, electric type of pressure washer, and I have it plugged into a like a surge protector that, you know, in other words, if there's a short circuit, there's a protection in the actual pressure washer itself, which is also protection in the surge protector too, because it has a reset switch on it. You can see it right here. This switch right here is a reset switch. If there's any kind of like quick fault, it shuts off automatically. And like I said, if you guys are doing this, you might want, if you want to get it dried off, you just use a leaf blower. You don't need an air compressor. Very cheap tools, like next to nothing. In the hot water, I don't know why nobody hooks this stuff up, doesn't hook it up to hot water. It's really easy to do by the washing machine. You can just run a hose from there and go out the dryer outlet like I did. And like I said, again, underneath the car, if you want to do this underneath the car, you put up on jack stands. I did this before with this car. I blasted everything really clean. There was a little surface rust on there. I used rust killing primer from Rust-Oleum. It's good. That stuff will hold up for years and years and years. And for the finish coat, I use mag wheel paint. Mag wheel paint, it's pretty cheap, but it's extremely chip resistant. And you know, it's made for wheels. In other words, it's made to handle heat, it's made to handle chips. So the underside of the car, it's good stuff. And since it's like a grayish aluminum color, like a silvery color, if there's any kind of problem where you see rust coming through, you'll see it right away. So that's the other good thing about it. So just some easy tips, because you know, people either go too extreme where they do a shitty, really lousy job, or they see these things on, you know, videos on YouTube where they got to spend big bucks on only specialty products, and you don't have to. Not at all. Not at all. I mean, actually, for cleaning grease, you could just put dish detergent on here and then blast it off. It works great. This is actually clean pretty well. There's just no paint on it. That's all. You know. But that's why you have oil, you know, leaks out a little bit. It always keeps everything from rusting, right? That's the old school way. Anyway, bye.